My brother slept with my girlfriend, then bragged about it, so I took his promotion, leaked his affair, and blocked every member of my family forever. I'm a 28-year-old guy, and for most of my life, my older brother Liam was my hero. He was everything I wasn't: loud, charming, athletic. The kind of guy who could walk into a room and have everyone eating out of his hand within minutes. Teachers loved him. Coaches worshipped him. And our parents. They looked at him like he hung the damn moon. Meanwhile, I was the responsible one, the quiet kid who got straight A's but never made waves. If Liam failed a math test, they blamed the teacher. If I aced it, they nodded like it was expected. But still, I loved him. I defended him when he got into fights, covered for him when he snuck out at night. I even stayed up with him senior year, helping him study for job interviews, mock questions, suit fittings, everything. I wanted him to win. His success felt like our success. I thought we were building a future where we'd look out for each other forever. Now, he's at a top-tier tech firm, climbing the ladder like he was born for it, and me, I'm on the quieter side of the industry IT support, cybersecurity protocols, remote log repairs. I've always been more back-end than spotlight. I don't mind. I'm not flashy. I'm stable, loyal, focused, and for the last 2 years, I've had someone who made me feel like that was a Nufiva. She's smart in a quiet way, laughs with her whole face, and listens like what I say actually matters. She doesn't treat me like a background character in someone else's movie. She's the first person who made me feel like I wasn't living in Liam's shadow, but I didn't know then she would become the deepest cut of them all. It started small, like most betrayals. Dududava began pulling away in ways I couldn't quite name at first. The cuddles turned into side hugs. Her phone, once left casually on the counter, was now always flipped face down. She'd say she was working late, but when I asked what project, her answers were vague recycled words, like just busy stuff, or I'll explain later, except she never did. I tried to ignore it. I mean, everyone hits ruts, right? But the timing felt off. Around that same time, Liam started popping by my place more often. No text, no warning, just a knock on the door, and a smug smile like he owned the place. Just checking in, he'd say, then help himself to my fridge like it was 2009 again. Eva would laugh at his stories, harder than she ever laughed at mine. She started dressing up more, even for a night in. She said she was trying to feel cute again, but her eyes never quite met mine when she said it. I remember one night's stupid little thing. She brought me a glass of water and said, "Here you go, babe." But the way she said babe felt wrong, like someone else's rhythm. Liam's rhythm. I know that sounds crazy. I sound crazy just saying it out loud. But it was there, this low burning feeling in my gut I couldn't shake. Like I was watching my reflection crack from the inside, and everyone else insisted the glass was fine. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I was tired, that Liam was just being Liam, and Eva was just stressed. But deep down, something had shifted, and I couldn't unsee it. That night is burned into my memory, every sound, every shadow, every heartbeat that didn't make sense. I'd been at a client meeting across town, but it got canceled last minute. Normally, I'd have texted Eva to let her know I was heading home early. But for some reason, I didn't. Maybe some part of me knew. When I pulled into the driveway, her car was already there. The apartment was dark, no lights, no TV, nothing but the faint glow of her phone screen through the curtain. I walked in quietly. The smell hit me first, her perfume, mixed with something unfamiliar, a trace of cologne that wasn't mine. She jumped when she saw me, half-dressed, fumbling with her phone like it was a grenade about to go off. "You're home early," she said too loudly. Too rehearsed. On the coffee table sat a men's watch. Sleek, silver, expensive. Not mine. My chest went cold. "Whose is that?" I asked. She froze for a second too long, then laughed. "You're seriously checking watches now? God, you've gotten paranoid." I remember standing there trying to piece reality back together while she kept talking, spinning, twisting, gasp. "You're insecure," she snapped. "This is why I can't talk to you about anything." I wanted to believe her. I almost did. But when she walked into the bathroom, her phone buzzed on the couch. The preview flashed a single name that made my throat close. Liam. I didn't open it. I didn't have to. That night, I packed a small bag and left. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just drove aimlessly until my phone buzzed with one final message from Liam. She wasn't worth it anyway, and in that moment, my entire world collapsed. 3 days. That's how long I went without hearing a word from her. 3 days of sitting in silence, replaying every conversation, every laugh. Every night she'd turned her phone over and said, "It's just work." When she finally texted, "We need to talk," I almost didn't respond. But curiosity, or maybe masochism, dragged me to that meeting. She showed up looking tired, guilty, but still tried to control the room. "I don't want to hurt you," she began. "Too late," I said. My voice didn't even sound like mine. It came out in fragments at first. A few drinks, a few mistakes. "It just happened," she said, over and over, as if repetition could soften it. I sat there gripping the edge of the table, my nails digging into the wood. "How many times?" I asked. She hesitated, then whispered a few, but what gutted me wasn't the cheating. It was what she said next. "Liam told me he didn't think you'd ever really go anywhere in life, that you're safe, not ambitious." Safe, not ambitious. My brother, the one I helped prepare for interviews, the one I protected my entire life, had described me like I was disposable. I left the cafe before she could finish her apology. I didn't yell, didn't look back. I just drove home and called my parents because I needed someone, anyone, to tell me this wasn't real. But my mother's voice was calm, almost rehearsed. "You should have known, honey," she said. "Liam always gets what he wants." Something in me broke. I hung up, turned off my phone, and sat in the dark until morning. The world felt hollow. Food tasted like dust. I didn't even cry because crying would mean I still believed I mattered to them that night. I promised myself one thing. I'd never let any of them see me beg again. A week later, I did something I'm still ashamed of. I went back, not to Eve, I'd blocked her everywhere, but to my parents. I convinced myself that maybe my mom's comment had come out wrong, that maybe they didn't understand how deep this went. I needed something, some sign that someone in my bloodline still saw me when I walked into the house. It was like nothing had happened. My dad greeted me with a nod. My mom hugged me like I'd just come home from a weekend trip. Liam was already there, sitting at the dinner table, laughing at something on his phone. He looked up and grinned. "Hey man, you look like crap." I froze. I expected awkwardness, shame, maybe even a stammered apology, but there was none, just normalcy over dinner. I brought it up not to start a war, just to clear the air. "You know what happened with Eva, right?" My mom looked at my dad. He cleared his throat. "We heard bits. She cheated on me." "With him?" I said it slowly, like they might have missed that crucial detail. My dad sighed. "It's not like they're getting married. You've got to let it go. Family is forever." Liam snorted. "I didn't steal her, man. She came to me." He said it like a punchline. I stared at my plate, heart pounding. No one defended me. No one said he was out of line. In their eyes, I wasn't the wounded one. I was the problem for not pretending like everything was fine. That night, I didn't go home. I couldn't stand the silence of my apartment. Instead, I parked behind a grocery store and slept in my car. That's when I realized they didn't just forgive Liam, they chose him. I moved out the next morning. No note, no goodbye. Just silence, something they were already good at giving me. I signed a month-to-month lease on a studio. Apartment 2 hours away. No windows, no decorations, just a mattress on the floor, a desk, and Wi-Fi. I blocked every family contact: mom, dad, Liam, cousins, even the ones who stayed neutral. I wasn't angry anymore. Not in the loud way. It was colder, now controlled. I buried myself in work. 12-hour days turned into 14. I learned every software update, every security protocol, every loophole in the back-end system. While Liam polished his LinkedIn selfies and networked over rooftop cocktails, I became the guy people called when everything crashed. Reliable, quiet, ruthless with results. 6 months in, a recruiter reached out. Said a global logistics firm was looking for senior-level talent, someone who knew IT architecture inside and out. The name didn't click at first, but when I did my research, my heart paused. They had just finalized a merger with Liam's company. I applied under a different name, just my initials. No photo, no resume fluff. 2 rounds of interviews. A live technical exam, a final strategy presentation. I didn't just pass, I obliterated the benchmarks. A week later, I got the call. We're thrilled to offer you the position Senior Regional Manager. I reread the offer 3 times. The department, overseeing operations in Liam's branch. The role, his direct superior's direct report. In short, I was now Liam's boss's boss. I didn't smile, didn't laugh, just closed my laptop, sat back in my chair, and whispered to no one, "This time you work under me." The cold seed had bloomed, and I wasn't done planting. Corporate power is quiet. It doesn't shout, it watches, learns, waits. A few weeks into my new role, whispers started floating through the halls like smoke. Liam was having an off-the-books relationship with someone above his pay grade. At first I ignored it. Let the gossip swirl. But then I caught the name Madison Carrington, our West Coast VP, married, 2 kids, public-facing. I'd spent months tightening our internal IT compliance protocols. Everything ran through logs, now emails, cloud syncs, device access, even deleted messages. It wasn't hard to get what I needed. I didn't even have to dig far. Late-night messages, hotel booking confirmations, photos sent over company Wi-Fi. There it was, his downfall neatly time-stamped, geotagged, and backed up twice. I could have ended him right there. One file forwarded to HR, and it would have been over. But I didn't want fast. I wanted thorough, so I waited. Let him strut through the office, brag about his big upcoming project to anyone who'd listen. I watched him take Madison out to lunch in full view of interns like he was bulletproof. Then, out of nowhere, a call from my mother. "I know things have been hard," she said, her voice shaking. "But Liam, he feels guilty. He wants to talk." Guilt. That was rich. Still, I agreed to meet for dinner, not out of forgiveness. Out of timing, I told her. "Sure, tell him I'll be there." Because I already knew what I was going to say. And what I was going to drop right in the middle of that nice, quiet family meal. Let him eat first. Let him feel safe. Because once I started, there would be no going back. I wore a collared shirt and even brought wine. No one brings wine to a family dinner at a chain steakhouse. But I wanted to look. Gracious.com. Liam was already there when I arrived, sipping whiskey like he owned the place. My parents greeted me with overly cheerful smiles, like the last 8 months hadn't happened, like I hadn't vanished from their lives entirely. "You look good," my mom said, "healthier." Liam grinned. "Guess disappearing does wonders for the skin, huh?" He winked, laughing at his own joke. The conversation was exactly what I expected. Liam bragging about a new contract he personally secured. He didn't. Hotels he'd stayed at on the company's dime. And how not everyone is cut out for corporate leadership. I just nodded, chewed, listened. Then I set my fork down. "Actually," I said, wiping my mouth, "I just got promoted." Liam's smirk faltered. "Regional operations head," I continued. "I'll be overseeing several divisions, yours included." He blinked. My father coughed into his napkin. My mother looked like someone had unplugged her brain mid-sentence. I leaned in, soft and slow. "Oh, and Liam, I know about Madison, the married VP." His face turned to ash. "You should be more careful with your work email. It logs everything." My mom opened her mouth to speak, but I stood before she could shape the word "how." "Thanks for dinner," I said. "You were right, Dad. Not everyone's cut out for leadership." I dropped a crisp 100 on the table and walked out. Behind me, silence. No one followed. No one called after me that night for the first time in a year. I slept without grinding my teeth. 3 days after the dinner, an anonymous file made its way to HR. It contained everything: flagged emails, hotel receipts billed under fake departmental codes, GPS logs showing Madison and Liam clocking into off-site meetings in the same location during work hours. It was detailed, immaculate, damning. By noon, Liam's keycard access was suspended. By the next morning, his face was removed from the internal employee directory. Madison's husband, who happened to be a high-profile attorney, filed for divorce the same day the investigation became official. Word spread like fire, not just in our building, but across 2 entire regional branches. This wasn't gossip anymore. It was scandal. Upper leadership scrambled, desperate to preserve the company's public image. Meetings were held, lawyers brought in, HR policies reviewed line by line. Liam was placed on indefinite administrative leave pending investigation, but everyone knew what that really meant. My phone buzzed, nonstop mom-dad, even Liam. I watched the screen light up again and again. Please call us. What did you do? Liam is falling apart. How could you turn on your own brother? Funny, no one had asked me that when he turned on me. I didn't respond. Didn't block them either. I wanted them to feel that hollow panic when someone you used to control suddenly stops answering. From my corner office, I watched the chaos ripple outward. Liam's promotion vanished. His quarterly bonus froze. His name became a cautionary tale in company memos. And me. I did my job, quietly, efficiently. I reviewed project timelines, signed off on vendor renewals, and scheduled a training session on ethics compliance. I never smiled, never gloated, but deep inside, something unclenched, something years in the making. He had dragged me to the bottom, and now I was watching him drown in it. Liam tried everything: calls, emails, even a LinkedIn message titled, "Let's Talk Like Bros." I stared at that one for a long time, not because I considered replying, but because I realized he still thought he could reach me the same way he always had, like I was just waiting on the sidelines, ready to forgive. I wasn't. Not anymore. I archived the message and kept moving. Morning meetings, budget approvals, vendor negotiations. I didn't skip a beat. But the real surprise came a week later when my receptionist knocked softly on my office door and said, "Your mother is here." I looked up from my screen. "Tell her I'm in a meeting." She said she'll wait. Of course she did. I walked out 20 minutes later. She was sitting in the lobby, hands clenched around a handbag that hadn't aged well. When she saw me, her eyes filled instantly. "Please," she said, "your brother is a mess. This could ruin him." "It already did," I said. Calm, cold, tired of pretending. "You've made your point. Can't you fix it now? Just fix it." I looked at her, really looked. The same woman who once told me to be the bigger person when Liam keyed my first car. Who said he didn't mean it when he humiliated me in front of my friends. Who laughed when he stole my girlfriend and said, "Liam always gets what he wants." I stepped closer and said quietly, "You raised him to believe he could take anything from me. And now I've taken everything back." She flinched, didn't speak, didn't stay. Just left quiet, shaken. And for once, powerless and me. I didn't feel guilt. I felt free. The purge wasn't loud. It wasn't some dramatic clickfest or late-night meltdown. It was surgical. I opened my contacts list and started at the top: Mom, Dad, Liam, block, block, block. I deleted group chats, archived every voicemail, scrubbed my inbox clean. I changed my number, deactivated social media, and closed the email account I'd been using since high school. I even moved to new apartment, new zip code, new silence. Asterisk, the space was smaller, but better. No ghosts in the walls, no hand-me-downs from my childhood bedroom, just clean lines, white noise, and peace. At work, I was everything they expected. "You're always so centered," one of my directors said. Like nothing rattles you. If only they knew. They didn't know I used to sleep in my car. That I once stared at a photo of my brother and me from when we were kids and didn't recognize the face next to mine anymore. That I sat through meetings for 6 months with Liam's voice in my head, telling Eva I was going nowhere now. I come home, change into worn gym clothes, and lift weights in my quiet little living room. I read books I never had time for. I journal. I listen to music without lyrics. I breathe. There are no more unexpected texts, no guilt traps, no emotional minds waiting to go off at dinner tables. My old life is going to burn down brick by brick. The betrayal, the family, the version of me that needed their approval. I erased it all, and for the first time in my adult life, the silence feels like mine. He bragged about sleeping with her now. He avoids eye contact in elevators. I see him sometimes. On rare days when our paths cross during quarterly reviews or company functions, he's still forced to attend. His posture's changed, shoulders hunched, smile clipped. He doesn't speak unless spoken to. He used to laugh with his whole chest. Now he stares at his shoes. I don't acknowledge him. Not because I'm angry any. My anger is a weight I dropped months ago. No, I stay silent, because nothing I say would hurt more than the fact that I made it without him. That I became the thing he said I'd never be. I don't miss Eva. I don't think of her when I walk past the cafe where she broke everything with a half-hearted sorry. I don't miss Liam, not the brother I knew, not the man he became, but sometimes I miss me, the guy who believed in loyalty like it was religion, who thought that being the quiet one, the steady one, would eventually earn him love, who helped his brother win. Thinking one day the favor would be returned, that version of me didn't survive. Betrayal doesn't just change you, it chisels you into something sharper, colder, more careful with where you place your warmth. Now, I choose my circle like I choose my passwords, complex, secure, and only shared with those who've proven they deserve access. I close my work laptop at exactly 6. No late-night crises, no overtime, no chaos, just control. I take the elevator down from the 32nd floor, walk through glass doors that open for me, not for him. I breathe in .N for the first time in years. I smile, because he thought he could break me, but I didn't break. I buried him.